So welcome everybody tonight as we begin our Masters of Dread campaign, our Ravenloft campaign. For episode 6, tonight will just be me and Danny, as everyone else is on vacation. We're going to have a one-on-one game. We're going to do a quick introduction of our one player that we have tonight, and then we'll do a quick recap before we dive in and have fun with some hijinks tonight. So, and I do want to go ahead and say we are still rolling with our podcast, and we're also loading up onto YouTube. So however you are following it, thank you so much for listening or for watching. But do remember you can catch up on past episodes on our podcast, which is going to be Rolling with Advantage or Masters of Dread. You can do either one of those searches and pretty much anything. And also on our Rolling with Advantage YouTube page as well. All right, so let's introduce all of our players, and we have below me in the awesome Cthulhu shirt.
Yes. I'm Danny. I play the Ranger, Durandal, who's a Dampier, which is kind of like a half vampire. It's a new race for D&D 5th edition. And Trevor was asking me very unsettling questions before the session, like, how much can I breathe? And how many times can you cast this? And what's your movement speed? So I can't wait to be murdered tonight. That's going to be fun.
It will be a fun process of that happening. Yeah. All right. So where we left off last week, the story picked up last week. Our party was magically transported from one domain of dread to Har'Akir, which is like a desert domain, and they kind of got lost in the desert, trying to find. They followed one of the Vistani and these like roving like gypsies to try to figure out how they travel from domain to domain. And they were also running from some very angry villagers. And they were magically transported into this new domain, Har'Akir, which is a desert domain. And then from there, they just basically got to the point where they found some shelter. They fought off some in Starship Trooper insectoid monsters. And they found a statue and an inscription of this lord, the lord, they called it the God Pharaoh Ankhtapat, who is they figured was the dread lord of this domain. And that's pretty much where we got. Baka, which is Laz's character, is still unconscious and fighting for his life. Xiv, Wes's character, and Esteel, who's played by Ellie, were trying to figure out a way to bring, to help Baka's character out. And while they were doing that at camp, the Ranger, Durandal, the Dampier, decided he was going to go and scout the area. And that is where we're going to pick up. But before we dive, we have to always start as we always do. And we start at the Trollskull Manor, which is in Waterdeep. And that is the image that we see in front of us. So we're in Waterdeep as we get together to hear the next story that is being told by the minstrel, the bard, the marvelous Marcus Madmore. And so let's go ahead and move into the Trollskull Manor, and let me just adjust my screen here. My screen's a little different tonight because we only have one player. And then let's begin the tavern music. So as we welcome everybody in to the Trollskull Manor, and you see Lu Zhang, the half-orc, the proprietor of this establishment, welcoming everyone in. He says, Headstone and Sunshine and Ghost and Hobbit, I have all your places together. Please, please. And as you come in, they've prepared a special meal tonight. Fish is back on the menu, and they've got some very large sea bass ready for everyone. And they're also serving a nice white wine with that tonight. It's an elvish wine. So they're bringing that in, and as everyone is coming in and getting ready to have their dinner, you see the minstrels playing in the background, and everyone's kind of sitting around and kind of chatting about what they think the next part of the story is that Marcus has been telling over the last several weeks, and it has become like the talk of the town. And each week, as Marcus comes out and he shares this story, the setting changes directly, but everyone here is kind of chatting about what they think will happen, and there's some general concern about Baka. Is he actually going to be surviving this issue he had with the succubus a few weeks prior? So it's kind of turned into the soap opera that everyone's talking about the story that Marcus is telling. And as everyone has the meal and comes in, a few moments pass, and Marcus makes his appearance, the minstrel, and he welcomes everyone and says, greetings everyone and welcome. I hope you enjoy the sea bass. And I also hope that the wine is to everyone's liking. And he goes around and he greets everybody. And with that, after a few moments, after the first course has passed, and as they are going out and pouring another round of wine, he looks back at the minstrels and goes, "It is time for me to take over tonight's festivities." And with that, the tavern music comes down, and a different sound comes up. And it is a sound that was not played in the previous weeks, but a sound that came in last week, as the setting of the story has changed from the outskirts of the city of Verone to now into this new realm known as Har'Akir. And as Marcus goes and looks and says, "Oh, welcome everyone," he pulls out this orb, and as he begins to pull this orb out, it begins to grow in his hand. And he looks into it, and normally we see a dark, hazy view of clouds and mist. And now we see the same mist, but it is pierced by this orange glow of the sand and the terrain of Har'Akir. And as he does that, it begins to grow in his hand, and as he gets larger, he goes, "And now, tonight, I will tell a story that I hope everyone here is got the stomach for, because our poor Durandal, unbeknownst to him, is traveling in the wrong direction." And as he does that, he opens up, and the portal opens, and everyone peers in to the scene of we return to the desert of Har'Akir. And as we pick up our scene, we see Durandal riding off over the dunes on top of his black steed known as Equinox. And also, this horse actually has the magic horseshoes attached to it that allows him to ever so closely run over the dunes, but his hooves don't actually touch the dunes itself. Just a few inches above. Wind still kicking off, moving the sand to and fro as the horse gallops across the dunes, as he's in search of civilization or any sign of the Vistani or a way to get home. As he goes about, we just see the horse kicking about, and in the distance, we see ruins of different temples or civilization, and that is where we pick up. So Durandal, as you are heading across the dunes on your black steed, what exactly are you looking for as you're kind of scouring the countryside?
Anything that looks habitable or recently habitable, like structures, buildings, abodes, or tracks that may look humanoidish.
Okay. Give me a survival check as you're riding about. He gets a +6, a mighty 7, which means you rolled a 1 + 6 is 7. Now, as the wind is kicking over, you do notice in the distance that a storm seems to be kicking up, and it's kind of pushing all of the sand across the dunes. You're unable to pick up any tracks. But as you see the storm moving in, you quickly look about, and you do see a structure in the distance that you could get to kind of give you some cover from the storm.
Yeah, looks like a big sandstorm. Yeah, I'll definitely go towards that.
All right, as you make your way over, in the distance, you do see the obelisk in the distance that we've seen. It's something that has been a focal point, and you're kind of meandering your way in that. You believe that does seem to be some sort of life. At night, you did see a tiny pinprick of light coming in the distance as you were riding at the camp before. And as you've been riding, you've been kind of sidewinding your way around, just trying to look for anything else in this wasteland. What you do see as you go up is you see a structure that looks like it's been toppled over. And as you get closer to it, you do see some shade that's being kicked off of what looks to be a giant statue that has been kicked over. And I do have an image for you for that. In the distance, you do see some type of flying creature in the distance, some type of scavenging bird, fairly large, probably the size of your steed itself that you see in the distance. And it seems to be evading and moving away from the storm, which is now kind of coming between you and your companions in the camp. It seems like it's going to kind of put a barrier between the two as it's kind of rolling over from, I can't even say what direction it is because you've kind of lost bearing in this world of what is east and west, but it seems to be coming from your right side.
Okay. Is there shelter here?
There's a nook between under the neck of this that you and your steed could get under. But outside of that, that's the only thing that you see as far as like a covering is this nook between what would be the neck and the chest of the statue.
And how long until this storm hits me? I know it's coming quick.
It's going to be here pretty quick. As you look back, it seems to be moving. I would hate to say unnaturally fast because this is your first day and a half here, but it seems to be moving with a fervor that is unnatural to you. You've not seen a storm move in as fast as this.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull up and pull Equinox in and just kind of huddle and wait out the storm.
Give me an animal handling check to see if you can get the horse in the nook itself.
See if I can roll better than I did.
It has to be. You rolled a 1.
There we go.
16. So you rolled a 12 plus 4 is 16. You are able to. You've known Equinox is the family horse. You've built a bond and a trust with your steed. You are able to kind of get him to maneuver and kind of push back in there. Now you can't. It's not thick. It's not wide enough for you and the horse. So you have to get up and kind of like slowly push the horse back in there to keep it safe. And then you can kind of like bury yourself between as well. But the best way to do this is to put horse in first, and then you kind of come in beside it. Is there anything else that you want to do now that you've kind of got the horse kind of pushed back? And the horse is totally okay with being. The horse sees the storm as well and is kind of like rearing back and forth and is looking for cover as well.
What time of day is this? This is morning.
It still feels like mid-morning.
Okay. I'll drink some of my cactus water.
Okay.
What was that called?
So you bring out the plant that you found that's somewhat similar to cactus, and you kind of drink some of that. The horse is looking at you and kind of like trying to get some as well. You share some of your water with the horse as well. And the two of you kind of have this moment. Is there anything else that you want to do before the storm moves in? It's moving in fairly quick.
I don't really have anything I can put between us, I don't believe. I'll just kind of huddle there and hope that this passes by quickly.
As you huddle in and brace, you look in the distance and you see the storm itself. It is not something you've ever experienced before, but you actually see a funnel being formed in the skies above, and as it twirls forward, you hear what sounds to be an angry voice against the wind itself, and as you look closer, you see what looks to be some giant hand forming in the sand itself that seems to be pushing the storm around.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay, what I'll do is take out my rope.
Okay.
And my bedroll.
Okay.
And try to, as best I can, put it between me and this opening.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna
I
see. All right. So you quickly see that what this coming is probably unnatural. You get out your rope and your bedroll, and you're quickly trying to fashion some type of sand shelter here, looking for things to tie it to. In a matter of moments as you do this, the horse is freaking out as well, and it finds itself like kind of pushing himself back into this nook as well as the storm crashes into it. And when it crashes, it's not like you feel a little bit of sand. It is like dunes of sand are just now pouring over, and you find, all semblance of light is lost as this storm comes in. And the only thing that you look up and you see is that this swirling vortex of sand coming from above you. Something like that. So you're seeing that the swirling sand is like kicking up above you, and it's just completely tearing up and changing the landscape. And as it dawns on you, this is why you're having a hard time finding tracks. And if this is constantly changing the landscape, how will you ever find a direction or a way to go? And you're kind of having this thought as all of this is barreling down on top of you. As this is happening, make an athletics check.
Athletics. I do acrobatics instead.
No, this is an athletics check.
no.
A 14. Okay, so as the storm comes down, the sand goes in, and actually you feel yourself getting hit and pushed back and lifted out of the rune itself. And as you do that, you're like going and grabbing for things. You lose your rope and your bedroll in the process as you're trying to basically just like hold on to the side of this ruin that you're on top of, and you're basically clinging on to the side of it. The horse itself seems to be getting buried, and you can hear the horse like neighing and calling out for help as all this sand is getting dumped on top of you. At this point, you are away from your horse, and it's pushing you back, and at this point, you're kind of clinging on to the side, only able to hold on because of your Dhampir gift of spider climb that you're basically barely hanging on. Is there anything that you'd wish to try to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get back to the horse if I can.
That will be another athletics check. A 16. You do manage to get back up to the horse. You grab onto the rope, and as you pull onto the rope itself, you're able to kind of pull in. As you do that, you have your rope and the horse, and you're trying to basically, but the horse has part of the rope, you have part of the rope. As the ground below you begins to give in, and you feel yourself sinking into the sand itself, and the horse is pushing up, and you see the horse is getting higher as you're getting lower, but you've gotten your rope back.
Okay.
Now, the bedroll is gone, but you have the rope. As all of the sand is pushing you down. As that happens, you hear something breaking and crumbling below you, and there's a moment where you are completely buried in sand as you're being pushed down, and everything goes black, and you're just holding on to that rope as you get pushed further and further down, and you feel yourself sliding through the sand. Again, if you had to require on oxygen, you would suffocate at this point, but because of your gifting of being a Dhampir, you're pushed into the dune itself as you slide down into some unknown place. But you feel pressure as something is basically shoving you and pushing you down into the sand itself.
Okay. Do I feel like I can try to pull myself up, or does it feel like it's just
You can try. You can
Yeah.
definitely try. It will
Let's
be
try.
another athletics check. It's the strength of his character. A 13. You pull up to the rope. You reach out. You get to what you feel like is near the top of the rope. You reach out, and your hand grabs onto sand that seems firm. And when you do that, you feel life coming from that. Whatever is in that sand, you're actually holding on, and you grab onto some being that is in the sand itself.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And I keep trying to climb up.
You're at this point you're pushed about as far down as it's going to go. Moments pass, and as you're being pushed down, you feel yourself sliding and being pushed through the sand as you're buried by some type of magical force. You're buried in the sand itself. Fortunately, you don't have to require on breathing, but you were buried in the sand, and you're using the rope. You're trying to pull your way through, and then there's a moment where you feel this compactness of the sand about you, and you feel your feet come free below you, as if there's an opening below you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to burrow down or...
Okay.
You know,
as you
jump
begin
down.
to burrow, you slide down, you open up into what looks to be like some type of small, like, opening of a cave that you slide into. As you slide in there, you look behind you, and whatever shaft that you were pushed into is now completely filled with sand, but you are now in the openness of a large cavern.
Okay.
But you have your rope.
Yay! The rope's pretty much free now.
At this point, you just pull the rope and you're looking around. In the total darkness of the cavern, you kind of brush the sand around as you look in, and your Dhampir eyes look up, and you can see 60 feet out around you as you're looking into this large cavern. It's a desert cavern. You see, as you look off to the side, you see the stalactites. I always get this backwards.
Opposite stalactites.
Stalactites. You see stalactites and stalagmites coming up and down, and some of them that are meeting in the middle. You look at it; looks very dry and arid down here. You don't see any moisture. There's no water. One side of the cavern itself is just like it's sand and rock, and the other side you can't quite see. It's a little bit further out, but it looks like it's made of a different material coming from your left. And then coming straight, you see that the cavern just continues to go, and it drops down.
Okay. I'll check out the wall to my left.
You go to the wall on your left, and as you go and you feel it, it looks like it's some type of ornate rock. There's a pattern to it. Now you're just looking at it. Is there anything that you want to do?
Yeah, let me try to see if I can discern anything from the patterns. Or
give me an investigation check. An 11. You get up and as you put your hand up on it, you feel warmth coming from it, and you pull your hand back and realize that is not a wall. That is the side of something.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of away from that and skirt on the sand wall.
You look and you see that it is very large. Just from what you can see, it's 20 feet, and the cavern goes another 60 feet long. That you see the entire side of this thing. Whatever it is basically resting or sleeping under the dunes.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to stealthily skirt to the other wall and.
Other wall. Give me a stealth check.
Gosh.
A 20. Now that's 13 plus 7, so it's not a natural. You very deftly kind of move. The sand is very easily to sneak across as you get to the other side of the wall. Keeping an eye to your left, you see this giant wall of whatever this is on the other side. It is motionless, which is a good thing. As you kind of skirt down, you look down and you see that there's the cavern goes and it drops down, and you look and you see there's a fairly large drop going down. In fact, it's further than you can see of your 60-foot vision.
All right. I'm going to It just drops, right? And that's the end. There's no gap or anything over this other side.
Right. So,
okay. Can I fashion the rope up at the top and kind of rappel it down?
You absolutely could. How long is your rope?
I think it's only 50 feet. I know it's going to give out, but I figure that'll at least give me 50 feet. I can go without having.
Right. You'll have to burn a few feet tying it to the stalagmite behind you. So you tie that, and you're able to kind of rappel down a little bit. Now, as you get going down, you go and you realize it's about a 20-foot drop from the end of your rope to the bottom, which shouldn't be too bad. You should be able to roll out of that. Also, you're looking down and you see a sandy bottom. As you look about, you look in the distance and you see other stonework further down the cavern. So you've rappelled down, and now you're looking back out in the direction that you would have continued to go straight if it didn't have to drop. You see other stone structures of something that looks like constructed. Carved stone is what you see, but there is about a 20-foot drop.
What I've rappelled down, and I climb on it, like spider climb.
You could swing around it and try to basically spider climb down the walls and leaving the rope. Okay. You could do that.
What I'll do, I think I'll go back up.
Okay.
And unhitch the rope and try to spider climb down.
Okay, so you're going to go back up, collect your rope in case you need that. You then go back and you spider climb around, again using your Dhampir ability to do that. You spider climb down, and as you get down, you look and you see other stonework in the distance, and you look, and it's sparse in the beginning as you're going, but you start to see more and more of this giant stones that are kind of like carved about, almost like toppled over ruins have been buried in the sand. With the change of topography that you're seeing because of the storm, if that's a normal thing, this might have been up top at one point.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna hop down and see if what I see from these structures possible.
As you get closer to some of the structures, what you do see laying about, you do see some skeletal remains of what looks to be humanoids strewn about. Some of them still have articles like shredded pieces of clothing. You do see broken blades. You do see, armor kind of strewn about as well. It looks old, that it's been here for a while. Some of it's torn and weathered. But some of it may still be usable, preserved by the sand in some way.
Okay, yeah, I'll scour around and see if I can find anything noteworthy or usable.
You do find a one individual that has a shield that has been bashed in and is cracked. You do see that in the inside of the shield, you see looks to be like some notes that were written on the inside of the shield itself. The language you don't... What languages do you speak?
Elven, Common, Dwarvish, Elven, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
Alright, so this would have been a version of Elven.
Okay.
It's not... The dialect isn't exactly the same, but you kind of pick out the verbiage is the same. And it looks like whoever this was taking notes on his shield itself and had carved in some inscription, a warning about something called Sominta. Sominta. It refers to him as a guardian.
Good. All right.
On this same individual, you look about and you see that the armor that he's wearing is perfectly preserved, and you pull up and it is a very ornate, like studded leather. The studs are not metal, but are the carapace that have kind of been like bronzed. But looks to be something like from what you fought before, like they forged some of the scrap of that carapace shell of those insects that you fought, and are using that as part of the studs for the armor itself. And you're kind of amazed that it has stood the test of time in this environment.
Okay. Does that look like something I could wear?
Give me an Arcana check.
Let's see.
An 8. All you know it is magical. That's all you know.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. He was wearing it.
It worked for him. He is dead.
Obviously.
In the desert.
As I find it on his shriveled
So
corpse.
here's the question. This is the metagame that Danny is asking. Is it cursed?
Yeah.
Is it? It is magical. You could wear it. Is it cursed? He's also thinking of 20 years of gaming with Trevor. How many cursed items? And they do show up from time to time.
Yeah. If I don't know the magical effect, it won't. I mean, will it still work?
You may not even know that you're cursed.
Like if it's cursed, it will. If it's good, it won't.
All right, hang on. Chat. Should he put it on? Should he put this on? All right.
And you only live once. Let's put this on.
All right. Yes. Everyone overwhelmingly says yes. He puts on the armor. It is in fact +1 studded leather. It is not cursed. You put it on. So you do get a bonus 1 to your AC, and you can thank Sunshine for rolling up that loot for you.
Awesome. Thank you. Good roll. Good roll. All right. I'm going to look at the other corpses and see if there's anything of note or anything.
You do look about. Another one of the corpses you find has a pouch that has been like completely torn out and kind of lost to time, but you see like the fragments of it. But in that remnant, you see three small, looks like pink stones. As you pick up the three pink stones, you don't know much about jewelry, but you realize that these look to be some type of maybe diamonds, but they're pink, and you have three of those.
Looks to be only like one way out of here, correct?
Correct.
Anything else on the corpses?
That's all that we've got right now. So you've got your three diamonds and your +1 studded leather.
Okay. Okay. Write that on here. All right. These look to be like structures. Do they look to be like burials? Like some sort of...
As you get closer and you move past the first, strewn about bodies or skeletal remains, you look and you turn and you see this massive structure, this building in front of you, and we do have a set piece for that, so we'll grab that for you.
Nice. Okay. I'm guessing the door there is probably the exit, right?
You do see a door. It is the only door that you see in the structure. You do see, sand still pouring and raining in above from the storm above. You're not even sure how deep you are, but all you see is that you cross over like this. There is this bridge in front of you where you look over and you see I say bridge. It's a ledge that falls over and it goes into a deeper part of the cavern. Hard to tell if it's a structure that was made or not with all of the sand and the rubble that's on top of it, but you are looking at what looks to be some type of lost structure in front of you.
Okay. I'm gonna scurry up and see if I can see in this.
Okay. You move forward. The door is cracked open. The door is actually kind of ripped and hanging off of like an iron hinge. You go in the door. It looks like it was some type of metal. You scurry on the stone on the outside. You look into the window itself and this little opening, and you look in, and it looks like whatever floor this was has collapsed into the floor below, but it is giving you a vantage point looking around. And what you see on the inside of this looks like stone and both sand kind of strewn about. And you don't see anything that sticks out at you right now other than it's a way into another structure.
Okay. I'll just go through and kind of walk down the sand.
Okay, so you're going through the window down. So is that what you're... Okay. So what you do is you go through the window using your spider climb. You kind of scurry down to the very bottom. You land on the sand around as you kind of scurry. You look over the ground itself. And you see something that looks very familiar to you. You see another body laying about in the sand itself, and his armor, there is a part of a sigil on this burned into his armor that looks familiar to you. It's some type of bird, and you don't know why it seems familiar, but you just seems like you've seen that before.
Okay. Can I try to make out what type of bird it is?
As you get closer and look at it, it may actually be a bat.
Ooh. Okay. And it's on the armor?
Yes.
Is the armor like in ruins?
It is chipped away. It looks to be like it's some type of like half plate. It's not something that you can use. It is valuable if you had a way to drag it out of here.
Is it the whole suit of half plate, or is it just that piece?
It's a full suit.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I would even carry that. Strap it to myself, but then just make a note of it.
Okay.
And keep moving.
Now, I have a question. Do you have your mother's bag, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You never went through that, though?
I don't believe we did. I could stop and do it.
I just didn't know if you actually looked into it or not.
No, we never said what was in it.
Okay. So at this point, you're moving through the tavern itself. Not the tavern. You're moving through the structure itself. You look and you see a turn as it goes down, and then there's like a broken staircase going up, but it's broken, but that's not a problem for you. There is a wall. So basically you go to an area, there's stairs going down, there's stairs going up.
Stairs going down and up. Okay. Actually, let's see. It says there's water in it, tinctures, and potions.
Correct.
Okay. Do I have any idea what these are?
You stop to get some water out, and you go through the pouch, you drink a little bit of the water, and you look in it, and there are 3 vials in there. 2 of them are vials. One of them is a little bit larger. It almost looks like a small vase that has like these little like circular handles on the side of it that you kind of like twist and turn off the top. Your mother's handwriting is on it, so you know what these are. As you're going through, one of them is a potion of invisibility.
Right.
And another is a potion of superior healing. And the last one that has like the hooks on the top that you can squirt out is something called an Elixir of Health. You use that to get rid of diseases. It also can cure maladies such as blindness and things of that nature. So an Elixir of Health, superior healing, and potion of invisibility.
I don't know about the audience, but that just tells me I'm going to need those 3, which makes me scared.
Also inside, you find a silver mirror that you know was your mother's.
Okay.
You remember her using it. It was special to her in some way.
All right. Okay. Right. I'm going to stealthily make my way. You said there's stairs that go up and down.
Yes.
Logic would say go up. Yeah, I'm going to go up.
Okay. As you get to that staircase, it's spiraling, but it's broken as it's going up. What you see in the middle of that is a chain. There is a very thick iron chain that is going from top to bottom. So you see that, and you can kind of use that as you're kind of climbing and missing the point, but you could actually climb on the chain itself, up or down, using your spider climb.
Oh, so the stairs are kind of broken?
The stairs are kind of broken. There's walls. There's stairs on the inside that's broken, but on the inside of all of that is one chain that goes up and down.
Are the stairs that are below me broken as well?
Not as bad as they are going. You could easily go down. Up is harder than down.
Let me, I'm going to try to climb the chain just to see what's up there before I...
Very easily with your spider climb, you're able to climb up to the top very easily. As you get all the way to the top, you see it's just a room with a mechanism that is basically like this iron wheel. Think of it as like the wheel of a ship, or like where you could pull up the chain where the chain is connected to it. So this is how you would actually raise the chain.
Okay. I'll just investigate the room real fast.
Give me an investigation check.
Any signs of life or anything?
22. As you look about, the chain itself is what is the most interesting thing in this room is the chain and the contraption you're looking at. And as you look at this contraption, it feels out of place to what you're looking at the rest of it. It looks like this is somewhat newer than the structure that you're in. Like maybe this was placed here after the fact.
Okay. I will scurry back down the chain.
Okay.
And see what goes below.
You scurry down the chain. As you go down the chain, it actually, as you're climbing down, it actually opens up and you go below the structure itself into a cavern. It's very, as you're kind of getting through, you're kind of barely able to get through this hole. And as you look down, you see another cavern that looks like it's opening up into what looks to be. You look and you see what looks to be a giant broken skull. Bigger than anything you've seen. I mean, you're talking like a 60-foot skull that is broken open and is basically the forming the outsert of this cavern itself. The chain goes right into the middle of that and is buried into the sand. That is the roof. Basically, you have a skull. The chain goes down the skull, and inside the skull is a floor that the chain is buried into.
Okay. Is there much light down here?
No.
Or is it pretty much okay?
The only thing if you didn't have your own natural eyesight, you would not be able to see.
Okay. I am gonna go back up to where the chain comes through and kind of make my way down the inside of the skull down instead of the chain. Because I figure the chain's gonna be making noise.
Okay, so you go back around and you make your way around, and basically what that does is it takes you to a different part of the chasm that now you're on a path heading up. On your left, you see what looks to be this bone spine that you're following up on your left. It's a natural cave that this thing is somehow fallen into or something, but you're following this giant spine on your left as you're going up this cavern. It looks like pretty natural. There are some cut stone here and there, like maybe at one point this was a structure, or maybe the structure was constructed around this thing that's buried, but you're basically following this massive spine of, and the skull almost looks humanoid from what you could tell from looking above.
Okay. Is that like the only way I see out of here?
It's the only place you've looked. Like you walk up and you get basically, you see the skull ahead of you that with the chain going down. You see that, and it's like this opening, and then there was another path behind you.
Okay. I'm just gonna skirt the room
of the skull
circular.
Head. Okay. Yeah. As you step in there, there's like a step, one step, two step as you're going down. As you step forward, I know you're going this. Let's just for the record, roll stealth check as you're going through this. $27. That is a natural 20. As you are very carefully moving and deftly as silent as possible, the only sound coming is just the natural sway of the chain as it's still hanging there. You move around, and what you look down on the ground, you see what looks to be some type of skeletal remains of something that is unlike what you saw up above, where you saw humans. You see what looks to be some type of dog head. You can see the canine teeth, but it looks like it had a dog head and was humanoid, and it's laying in the ground, and it has like the remains of some type of armor, bronze or golden armor.
Okay. Just one?
Just the only one you see, yeah.
All right. Right. Like an idiot. Gonna go down there and look at the armor.
Like an idiot, right. You go now, give me a check. So you're just gonna investigate the armor itself.
Yeah.
Okay, and investigate away.
Roll?
You did. You rolled a 19. As you get closer to it, your foot steps onto the sand itself, and you step on something. You look down, and your foot has uncovered what looks to be a large staff in the sand itself next to the skeleton. And you pick up what looks to be like a golden staff with like these big wings at the top of it. Some type of winged staff. It looks very ornate. It has writing on it. What looks to be like some type of elven that you saw before. And on it, it says something about, you pick out the words High Priest of Octopod.
Great. All right. I'll keep the staff with me.
Okay.
And I'm going to stealthily make my way to the exit that I saw earlier.
Give me another stealth check. a 9. Okay, and that's a 2 plus 7 is a 9. Hang on. I need to consult you. You sneak out just fine with the staff.
I don't know what I dodged, but thank God.
Yeah, you get out with the staff. All right, where are you heading now?
I'm going to go down like where the spine goes. What I saw before I went down and found the staff.
Gotcha. Okay. So you go down the spine itself, and as you go down, and you're just kind of following what might be like the stomach area of this thing. Like you've seen like a part of the broken rib coming out. And you're just kind of following down this thing, and you're surprised how massive this thing. This would be like a titan. It's bigger than a giant. Whatever this thing is was massive. And as you get closer down, you get to like the stomach area. And what you see here is a very large room. It looks to be some type of sacrificial pit. There's lots of broken bones strewn about this room.
Okay. And is there another exit out of this room
That's
that
as
I
far
see?
as this path goes.
Okay. I'm going to stealthily just walk around the perimeter of the room, what I can see, and just investigate.
All right, so give me 2 rolls. Give me a stealth check, and then give me an investigation check. 11. Okay, now give me your investigation check. That is a natural 20. As you are looking about and you're kind of walking around the perimeter, in the middle of the room, you do see the remains of a body that has a bag that has somehow stood the test of time in the middle of the room.
Bag. Okay. I'm going to gingerly step over to the bag.
Through the room.
And
okay.
Pluck it.
Give me a stealth.
Actually.
Yes.
Actually. How far away am I from the bag?
About 30 feet.
I am going to mage hand with my bats the bag to me.
Oh, so you pull out the bats, and the bats fly over and pick up the bag and bring it to you. Well played, good sir. What's the worst thing that can happen in a room full of skeletons? All right, so you pull these spectral bats out. They flutter about the room. They pick up the bag and bring it to you. As soon as you get the bag in your hand, you kind of look around, and the bats kind of like disappear into your being itself because they kind of come out of you in some way. But now you're holding the bag itself.
Okay, I'm going to kind of step back the spine area at the mouth of the room and kind of look in the bag.
You look in the bag, and what you see in the bag is you see a very large stone tablet in the bag. The tablet is bigger than the bag it should be.
I'm going to take my bow and try to dip it in there.
You can fit your entire bow into the bag.
Ooh.
It is, in fact, a bag of holding.
Okay, nice.
Because Headstone rolled a 99 and got you a bag of holding.
Those are the best item in the game.
Thank you, Discord, for the loot rolls. They were hot today.
Yeah, that was huge. Now, do I go back and stir the pot and get that plate mail armor?
Good.
I'm not, because I can't use it. I will tell Wes, Xiv, when I get back.
He's a barbarian. He doesn't need armor.
Okay. Can I look at the tablet?
You can. You as you pull the bag open like the Mary Poppins bag you lift out, you pull out this large stone tablet, again in this strange elven dialect. You read, and it looks to be some type of ancient burial rites. And it mentions something to do with Octopot searching for his Ka, which loosely translated would mean soul.
Okay.
It also makes mention of the guardian of something called the Defiler, And again, the name Somenta is mentioned.
Okay. Sounds wonderful. And as far as I can tell, that's the only. There's no exit out of here.
That's all that you've discovered so far.
Okay. I'm going to shimmy up the wall and kind of go around the wall and see if there's any exits out of here.
You go and you shimmy across the wall, and as you do, you get closer. I guess you're heading back up the spine is where you're heading.
No, the room I was in, I was just seeing if there were any exits out
There's
of it.
no other exits out of the room.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll go back up the spine, and this time I'll be investigating both walls.
Give me a quick perception check.
Ooh.
16. As you are walking stealthily back, you look ahead in the shadows and you see two red dots in the darkness, and they kind of disappear and reappear for a second, but you see these two red dots about maybe 3 feet off the ground in the darkness. All you see is the two red dots.
About how far ahead?
Probably just out of sight, 70 feet.
Okay.
I mean, that's how big the spine of this thing is.
Yeah. All right. Oh, good. Okay. I'm going to walk forward, bow in hand, and arrow strung.
Okay.
And, yeah, I'm going to do that, just kind of walk forward with the bow.
Just enough to get into eyesight of what this could be.
How high up is the ceiling where I am?
30 feet.
Okay. I'm going to go up onto the ceiling and climb upside down with my bow.
Okay, and looking closer. As you do that, you still see those two red dots. As you're up on top of the ceiling, you look, and as you're looking down, you see the shape of what's to be some type of pretty large dog is down there looking up at you.
Okay. I only want to fight that if I have to. I'm going to look for other ways out of here.
Okay, so you're going to try to just bypass the dog.
Is it following me?
It's just staring at you.
Okay. I'm gonna, I don't want this thing to follow me, especially if it's a dog, because they can track. I will take a shot at it.
Oh, you will? A 9! You rolled pretty bad there. A 2 plus 7 is 9. You take the shot. It whizzes past the dog, who kind of looks at it, and then you see him just. There's this moment of distortion, and the dog just kind of disappears into the wall itself.
Good. All right. Well, staying on the wall, I'm going to look around for other exits, if possible.
Gotcha. You move back up, and at this point, you've got the skull room in front of you, and then you've got the chain going back up and the staircase going up.
Was the I didn't go up the staircase part, did I?
The staircase and the chain are kind of connected.
Okay.
So as you go down, you've got the chain, and the stairs are kind of going around it.
In the skull, I didn't really see anything else, did I?
You only saw the armor. You didn't touch the armor. You took the staff, and you just saw that the chain is buried into the sand.
Okay, I'm gonna go back up.
Okay.
Try to work this mechanism and see what I can do.
Okay. All right. So you head back up. You climb all the way up. With spider climb, there's no athletics check. You just climb all the way back up. You get to the very top, and you get back to this mechanism. Give me an athletics check. It's fairly simple, but let's just see how easily you can manipulate this thing.
A +0.
A 7. You pull, and as you pull it, You have to really put a lot of weight into it. This roll was not to see if you could do it. It was to see how loud it would be as you did it. And as you kind of pull, you have to you kind of grunt. It snaps, and you begin to pull it, and the entire chain just like shakes like this. And as you're pulling, it stops for half a second, and it seems like you're almost, you sense that you're pulling something out of the sand as you're pulling this. Yeah. So the question is you're gonna have to figure out some way, a lever system or something, because it's extremely hard, and you may not be strong enough to pull this up. But so how do you want to manipulate the mechanism?
Let me get the staff I just found.
Okay.
See if I can,
use it to kind of like pull a different way. All right, so you take the staff and you kind of pull in it that way. This time, give me another athletics check. I'll give you advantage on this as you're kind of creating a lever to kind of help pull this around with using the staff. And a natural 20. All right. So using that, you're able to kind of use that to kind of like crank it this way instead of pulling it this way. So you're using that to crank it. It actually pulls. There's a moment where it goes up, it stops as something has been unearthed below, and you hear something howling down below.
Sound like a dog? Like a howling dog?
It sounds like a howling dog down below.
Great. Pissed off the spectral hounds. Okay. I will gingerly go down the side of the wall, if possible, next to the chain, and just peer down there and see what it is.
You get down to the very bottom, and what you see is that the chain has pulled up some very large stone box that has a lot of runes, like things written around it. The chain goes all the way around it, and it was kind of buried into the sand itself. It looks to be about 6.5 to 7 feet long and about 3 feet wide of this thing that's been buried into the sand. What you do see is you see that same dog that you saw before, that all of these skeletal hands are basically grappling the dog down and fighting it. There's all these skeletal arms coming out of the sand and grappling the dog off to the side. And that very strange looking individual that you saw the skeletal remains is now up and walking around the room with a long, like, dog or jackal head, and he's wearing the golden armor, and you see his hand stretched out over the dog, and this greenish mist coming over as he is controlling these spectral hands to hold the dog down.
Does he look like he's like in antagonism with it?
Oh
like
yeah, he's definitely fighting the dog.
Okay. And
And he looks something like this. Zoom in. But he's missing his staff.
Oh, the one I just used. How wonderful. Okay. All these two are fighting. And is the box in the air?
Yes, it's dangling in the air. It's dangling in the air.
Okay. I go down the chain and kind of look in it. Try to pry it open.
You would have to break the chain to get it open.
Okay, I see. My God. Okay. Alright. I know that this thing's a guardian.
So let's give you a better view of this room. So the dog has got skeletal arms around it that's being pushed down by this skeletal dog-headed thing. You're standing there. We're not in combat yet. We're in combat adjacent. So you're looking at the skeletal thing with the skeletal arms pushing the dog down, and you're basically here, I'm guessing, because you climbed down the chain that has the box itself.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to peek out and take a shot at green guy.
At this point, we will roll initiative. Okay. Oh, I only rolled a 21. What did you roll for initiative?
An 18.
An 18. All right. So since it's only 2 of you, doesn't matter. He's going first. Let me see. Give me a stealth check. Let me even see if he sees you. A 21? No, he is unaware that you're there. He is paying attention. You hear him casting some incantation and also looking about. You see his hand. He's looking for his staff. As he's very limited on what he seems he can do right now without his staff. But right now he is controlling these skeletal arms, depending on the dog.
I am going to... Actually, I'm going to drink a potion of invisibility.
Okay.
Of invisibility.
You drink the potion of invisibility.
And... Let's see. I'm also going to cast... Zephyr Strike.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Hang on a second. Let's get a token. You gotta make sure everybody's on a token. Alright. So you drink the potion of invisibility and you go ahead and cast Zephyr Strike. That is your turn. Alright. I didn't give the dog a turn. So let me give the dog a turn. Hang on. He rolled a mighty 7. Alright. Hang on. So he goes 1. Well, let's add a turn here. And the dog is going at a 7. Alright. So the Guardian, Samantha, went. You did your thing. The dog is going to reach back, snarling at the Guardian, and release flame from his mouth. Just erupts out of his mouth as he tries to hit him with his fire breath. The Guardian has to make a dex save, which he mightily fails, and is taking 6d6 points of damage. 18. So this fire just goes all over the Guardian, and you hear him like, it's just like he's charred bone as the dog is howling. This flame wreath is coming out of him, and with that, it is its turn. He reaches over and he pulls out of this bag. He pulls out this well, this would be like a small femur, and he throws the femur at the dog itself, and the dog needs to make a saving throw.
Dogs like bones. Try to catch it.
Which he fails. As soon as the bone hits the dog vanishes from thin air.
Oh, God. Okay.
And with that is your turn.
Okay. I'm invisible.
Correct.
I cast Zephyr Strike, so I'm going to go behind him.
Still doesn't know you're there.
And to stab him.
Alright, so you're going to run across the wall with Zephyr Strike, drop behind him with your blades, and go to work.
Yeah. And it gives me advantage on one weapon attack roll.
You also get advantage because you're invisible. Now, as soon as you drop behind him and attack, you come out of invisibility. But everything you do for this round will have advantage.
Okay. And it will do an extra 1d8 force damage.
Right, so roll your first attack with advantage. An 11 plus your bonus, and a 19. So the 11 would have missed. The 19 does hit. You hit for 4 points with your sword. Now add your damage for your Zephyr Strike, which is a d8.
I believe it was, d8 force damage.
So 9 total damage, okay?
Alright. I guess I'll stab with my other sword.
And you come across with your other weapon, okay? Again, you get advantage. You rolled an 8 and a 9, so you miss with your second action.
Okay, so what this does is it lets me move an extra 30 feet. And I can disengage without Doing an attack of opportunity.
Nice. Okay.
So I'm going to flee. 5, 10, actually 5, 15, 20, 25. Can I go up onto like the side of the skull, up on the inside?
Yes, you can. You can run up the side of the skull.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's far away. Yeah.
All right. So you run up the side of the skull as the speed. You run over. You come visible. You stab him. You miss with the other weapon. You then break off, and as you run, you see that he goes and just slashes at you in midair as you kind of duck and run up to the side, and now you're running up the side using your spider climb to run up the side. With that, it's the dog's turn, who is no longer here, and now it is the guardian's turn. The guardian turns. He sees you up there, and then he taking his arm. He throws his arm out. It extends as it comes out as like a giant like skeletal whip as he comes and goes to try to grab you.
Oh god. Scorpion. Oh,
and that's a natural 20. And he's like, get over here, as he grabs you and he pulls you off the wall and drags you back over to him. And you take 12 points of damage as he drags you back to him.
Oof. Okay. This ain't good. Okay. But where am I? Am I right next to him?
Hang on, I need to make a roll real quick. Okay, that was for something else. And then this is for something else too. Things I have to roll. Okay. Alright, so now you are dragged right back next to him.
Okay.
It is now your turn.
Alright. I'm going to... Right, I'm going to try to hit him twice since I'm right next to him.
Okay.
And let's see.
All right, make your attack. All right, so this is your first attack, and it is a 6. So you miss, and then your second attack is a 7.
All right.
That's incredible. All right, so on the ground, you kind of barely get up to your feet. You just kind of half-heartedly swing your weapons and kind of do this flourish, shocked that you're even in this predicament, as both of your attacks miss. And with that, the dog is still gone. And now it is Samantha's turn, the guardian. And he's just going to reach back and then just kind of club you with his arm. As it comes out, you see all of the bones, like from his ribs, kind of like scurry up his arm, and they kind of create spikes around his arm as he tries to hit you.
It's horrible.
19, and that will hit you.
This could not be going worse. Okay.
For 6 points of damage. I rolled terrible on that. All right, so he slashes into your magical armor, kind of absorbs some of the blow as it kind of cuts across you, but you do still feel the pressure of the basically the broken ribs that are now attached to his arm, and now it is back to your turn.
All right, I am going to need to get away. If I cast something, he gets to strike, right?
Correct. Well, it depends on what it is. That's an old second edition thing. What are you trying to do?
Fog Cloud.
Oh, you can cast Fog Cloud.
Okay. I'm going to cast Fog Cloud, and that's an action.
Okay.
And then run away.
He will get an attack against you, but it will be with disadvantage.
All right, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Hide behind this if I can.
Okay. All right, so he will make his attack against you with disadvantage. He misses. So you drop the cloud, you disappear into the fog, you scurry around, and you kind of go and hide behind the giant box as he swings and he misses you. And It is now. Is there anything you want to do on your bonus action? Because that was your action. Is there anything you want to do on bonus action?
I'm gonna drink the healing potion if I can.
Roll 8d4.
Ooh. I might save it then. Okay.
No, you drank it.
I didn't know it was that big. 8d4?
8d4.
Okay, there's 4.
Okay.
Then 4. Did it do the other one?
Not yet. So you first 4 got
Okay,
you
good.
8. And the second one gets you
Okay.
15. So that's 23
Actually-
plus 8. You rolled for 30. You healed for 31.
31?
31.
Oh, I thought that. Okay.
Yeah, it's 8d4 plus 8 healing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you can thank PM2312 for rolling that up for you in Discord.
Definitely gonna need that for sure. Okay.
All right, so that's your turn. So you drop the cloud, you run around, you go into your mom's pouch, you pull out the thing that you knew was healing. You're feeling way better about the situation as you go and you hide behind that. Now, as you do that, it is now going to be looking for you now with disadvantage. I don't know why I keep rolling that button. Wrong button. Okay. He is out looking for you. Give me a stealth check. This would be opposed.
Okay.
I gotta know what I'm trying to get to. I'm gonna give the tie to you.
Ooh.
All right.
Roll
So
that.
he's looking for you in the fog. Where now? The fog completely encompasses the entire room. Correct.
I think.
I remember it being. How big is the effect on the fog?
Let me look. It's big. 120 feet in a 20-foot sphere?
Yeah, it's huge. Okay. Alright, so just so we have fog. So the fog has filled up the entire room, and you're basically running and hiding from this giant thing, and you just see like the glowing green energy that's kind of holding his skeletal form together, and you also see that energy is kind of cascading off of some of that bronzish gold armor that's on him as he's looking about and he's trying to find you. What do you want to do as you've kind of gotten this moment to kind of re-strategize?
I'm going to shoot him with my bow.
With disadvantage,
Yeah.
because you are in fog.
Let me see here. Okay,
like
bonus action. I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
Okay.
Wait. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm keeping Fog Cloud up. Okay, I'm going to, shoot at him.
All right, take a shot.
Disadvantage, right?
Mm-hmm. So shooting through the fog, you're just trying to shoot towards the green glow. An 18 and a 12. The shot ricochets off of his armor. You hear the ting of the arrow go up against his armor. What do you wish to do? You still got your movement and your bonus action.
I'm moving. It's too close. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm down here now.
Okay. He, make a stealth check. He's going to look for you. I rolled a 20. It's a 19 plus 20. Alright. He sees you running. He's going to go, hang on, I have to kind of, he sees you. He's going to run up to here and attempt to scorpion pull you.
Nice.
You duck out of the way as you heard the sound before of the bones kind of cracking. You duck as he throws his arm out and it flies over you. It crashes into the skull wall in the distance, and he pulls it back as you look over, and he sees you through the breaking fog. So as the wind of that pushes through, you turn around and look behind you. You see him standing there, and now you've got a clear shot at him.
Okay, I'm going to move up onto the wall again.
Okay. So we'll just say you're kind of like running up this way. Okay.
And I'm going to shoot at him. Actually, I'm going to bonus action. I think this is my last spell. Fairy Fire him.
All right, so that'll kill the fog.
That's actually one action. Yeah.
For the sake of it, the fog is gone, and now you're casting Fairy Fire, which I have to make a save on, correct?
Dex saving throw, I believe it's a 14.
It's a what?
14. Dex 14.
I rolled a 14 on the nose. So he resists the Fairy Fire. Seeing that the fog is gone now, he's going to run up and again try to Scorpion pull you off of the ledge. 8 plus... No, he misses. You duck out of the way, it crashes into the wall next to you. Back to your turn.
All right. This is pathetic. All right, I'm going to shoot at him.
You're in a precarious position. All right, take your shot. You do have the high ground at this point, so I will give you advantage. So 15... Well, 15 is going to hit, but let me see what the other one is. Go ahead and roll again. 26. Either way, you land your attack, so your arrow hits. Is there anything else you want to do with the arrow hitting?
Yeah, I'm going to mark him as the... Is it favored foe?
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to have my bats attack him, so that's an extra...
Okay.
8 and D4.
So the favored foe ability is additional damage to the attack. The bat damage is a separate source of damage. That is going to matter.
D6 and D4.
So it's going to matter. So go ahead and do your... Is that for the bats?
Yeah.
So 6 for the bats, 4 for favored foe, and then 8. So the 8 and the 4 is one attack. That's 12 points of damage. The reason that that's important is I have to make a concentration check, which I fail. The dog reappears. All right, so you did a total of 12 plus another 4. You did 16 total damage. So we're at up to 43. Okay.
That's my turn.
And that is your turn. All right. As the dog reappears and has recharged his breath weapon, he's going to run up, and seeing that, he is going to let loose another volley of fire breath onto the Guardian itself. And I have to make another Dex saving throw. Which, this time I made it, so I will only take half of 66. Which is... I take half of 20, so I take 10. Alright, so again, fire goes out, and just hits him in the back. There's flames. So you see the red fire and the green necrotic, or whatever it is, energy that's circling around him. And now it goes to his turn. He's going to turn towards the dog and go to attack the dog. He hits the dog. Very hard. He hits the dog for a whole lot of damage. Okay, so he basically hits the dog. You hear the dog go, "Arr!" And as he kind of pushes him across the ground. You see fire kind of come out the side of the dog as he kind of pushes him across with his giant maul spiked arm. And he's got his back to you. So you still, because you are elevated, you get your advantage. It is your turn.
All right. I'm going to string a +1 arrow.
Okay, so you get your magic arrow.
And...
25, so 18 plus 7 will hit for 11 points of damage with the magic arrow.
And then...
Wow.
Favored, and...
You rolled max damage on favored foe and the bats. So as you loose the magic arrow, it hits him right in the spine of the back. The bats go and just basically separate him from his legs. As the body kind of spins and drops, the legs run forward one way as his body drops on the other. As soon as the body hits the ground, the green energy that was encapsulating around him dissipates, and it is down. So you have beaten the Guardian.
Still have the dog.
And with that, it is the dog's turn. The dog is whimpering and backs up to the crate, and is basically like sitting back and guarding the crate.
Okay. Is this... Does it look like a natural dog?
It's breathing fire. No, it does not look like a natural dog.
I mean, does it look like spectral? Or does it look like a creature?
It looks like some type of creature. It's not spectral. but you did see it dissipate in the wall. It has some type of an ability, but it is not your typical dog.
I wish I wouldn't have burned all my spells now. Okay. This last potion I have, it's for like curing diseases, basically, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hop down, just see what it does.
Give me an animal handling check. A 9. As you start to get closer, it growls at you, and he kind of is putting himself between you and the box.
Okay. Well, I guess it can't be helped. I try to do another animal handling just to calm them down.
What do you... Yeah, but you gotta tell me exactly what you're trying to do. That was just for you moving forward in a non-threatening way, which you didn't do.
I'm just gonna like put my weapons holstered.
Okay.
Put my arm out and be like, "Shh, it's okay, it's okay."
Give me another roll.
This is the stupidest idea I've ever had.
An 18. As soon as you put the weapons down, his entire demeanor changes, and he backs up, and he's kind of, at this point, you see the body language totally change as soon as the weapons went down, and he kind of starting back up and is looking up at the crate, and you see him kind of push up and paw at the crate, causing the entire crate to kind of sway back and forth.
Okay. I'm gonna try to walk up gingerly and get the crate down if I can.
You slowly walk forward. The dog steadily kind of moves back to kind of watch to see what you're doing. As you get up, you try to loose the chain. You are able to kind of push and kind of, with a little bit of effort, move the box out of the chain itself. As you do that, it's gonna fall. And is there anything you want to do to stop it from falling, or just let it fall? Because it's big. It's 6 feet, 7.5, or 6.5, 7 feet tall.
I don't even know if I can do anything. I don't think I can do anything. Bats could help me for 5 pounds of it.
Okay. All right. So just give me, as you're pushing and you're kind of prodding at this, you're able to move it. It kind of crashes out as it falls down. The top of this thing crashes open. It was to be like a half rotted body falls out of the side of this thing, and as you kind of move back, this half rotted body kind of like rolls out, and you see it kind of move and look over. Oh, where am I?
I believe we never figured out the name of this place, did we?
No.
I believe you have been guarded by... have the name. Solminta. Does that sound familiar?
One of Ankh-Tapat's cronies, I assume.
It definitely sounds like it. He was a guardian.
As he goes, he stands up. He's got he's wearing like a black like jacket, almost like a duster. And as he's looking about, you see that his clothing is kind of preserved in some way, even though it seems like he's been in there for a while. Bald head, and looks to be like part of his jaws kind of pulled off to the side, as he's kind of like, he looks rotted. Is like almost like a zombie skeleton. He's more zombie than skeleton. As he's looking about, and he looks over and he goes, "How did you find me?"
I was pulled into this domain. I am making my way through these lands. I'm newly arrived. How did you get here?
I was spying on the Lord here for my Lord.
Did your lord carry a bat sigil?
Aye. You know Lord Brunwald. You know Lord Brunwald.
I've heard of him, yes.
I was sent here some time ago. I lost track of time as I've been in this prison.
You know a way out of here?
I don't even know where here is, but I know that He's looking over his skin. I need sustenance. He looks over at you. Do you mind if I... He looks and goes, no. And as he's looking at you, you see these fangs like coming out of his mouth. He goes, no, you're more like I am. You will not do. I need sustenance.
Is this dog yours?
Magdalene, you've been with me. Yes. This is Magdalene.
Okay. Like, so eating the dog is out of the question, I take it.
No, it will not do. I need something that has life and essence to it.
There was this thing over here, but it seems to be... Minta doesn't seem to have any life to it.
No. He's still gonna go, I sense life somewhere in the sands itself. Did you see anything alive on the way in here?
Yes. A rather large thing.
Oh.
I'll tell him about the rock thing.
I won't. Oh, you will take that to me. You take me to that, and yes.
Okay. So I guess we'll climb back up.
Okay. So he follows you, and he goes, what is your name, good sir?
Durandal.
Durandal. I am Balthazar.
I've actually been looking for Lord Brunwall. My domain.
Perhaps I can take you to him.
What is his story? How did he get here?
Oh, he is not here. He is somewhere else, but Octopod is somewhat of a rival to him, and I was sent here to keep an eye on him and report back.
Have you ever heard of a Miriam?
Oh, so you know the legend of Lord Brunwald.
I've heard bits and pieces. No.
Well, every one of these domains is meant to torment, and it takes the one thing that means the most to one and separates them. And that is what my lord seeks, is to be reunited to Miriam, who is lost in these domains.
Hey, Miriam is from the domain I'm from.
Oh, you know her?
Yes.
Oh, this is fortuitous. How did you say you will come to be here?
We were whisked here, running away from...
No, how did you come to be in this prison that I am in?
Oh, I was pulled down by a hand through the sand.
Hand? You saw the hand of Octopod?
Is that what it is?
He controls the sands and the storms, yes.
Yeah, you see, whipped up a storm.
He meant to bury you here.
Ooh. Good thing I don't need to breathe. Aha. All right.
Yes.
All right.
Well, take me to this life source that you found.
I take it he can go up the chain okay? Or does he need help?
Problem. No, without a problem.
What about the dog?
He looks back, he goes, Magdala, I will call upon you soon. And when you see that, there's this little smoke and a little bit of flame that the dog just dissipates into the air. A gift from my lord, a guardian, if you will. She watches over me.
I'd have shot an arrow at her out of mistake.
I'm sure you're not the first.
Good. She put up a great fight against Saminta.
Well, come. And he goes, he starts pulling himself up the chain, moving similar to you, kind of just very quickly moving up the chain. And as he gets up to not to the very top, but on the mid-level that you're in, he kind of sniffs around. He goes, I sense life. And he reaches down in the ground and he snatches into the sand and he pulls out this large beetle, and he just takes it and just bites into this beetle. And you haven't seen this type. It's a very large, like bluish, like purple beetle or something. You're not really sure. He goes, scarabs. Not much. And as soon as he does that, you see his skin start to pull back, and he starts to heal a little bit. He goes, I need more. Take me to your life
I
source.
will say that what I have found is massive.
Oh, good.
The only life I have found.
I should be able to heal myself from it then.
Okay. More like the size of a building, but...
Oh, show me what
And
you
I'll-
have found. You lead him out, and you go back out to the, we'll go back to the main here. You take him back out as he looks around. He goes, I remember this place. This was a temple. I came here to look and to discover, but before it was above ground. It has been buried.
Yes. I believe that's the work of...
Unktapat. Yes, take me.
Unktapat.
And so you take him out and go back out, and you find this giant wall, and he looks at this. He goes, giant worms. They bury themselves beneath. I'm not sure if they're of they obey the bidding of Unktapat or not. He controls those that are no longer living. But those that are living, they are not under his subjugation. And he reaches over and he kind of like takes his hands, and you see his nails kind of grow a little bit. And he ever so slightly like tears the flesh, and his blood starts coming out. He starts drinking from it. There is a shift, and as it shifts, you see the whole wall begin to just move this way as he kind of gets the very last of it. And as he does that, his entire body begins to heal as he is returned to his original form. And now you get to meet Balthazar.
Nice. Oh, he's awesome.
His light comes back into his eyes. His goatee grows back. You see the blood like shimming off, and he goes, "It is good. Now we must find our way out and
Agreed.
find civilization."
Is it possible to tunnel up through the sand?
Well, if you're as gifted as I am, we should climb and try to find a way out.
Okay.
And with that, the two of you, he takes you basically crawling up this and going up to the cavern, and the two of you spend some time together trying to find a way out until finally you find a cavern that seems to be heading further and further up, and through a little bit of tunneling and digging and climbing, you spend the next several hours getting to know Balthazar and talking with him and learning more of his tale as you crawl up and eventually punch through the sand and find your way back out of this buried place. And that, as you punch through and the light kind of comes back in, we are now returned back to the tavern in Waterdeep, where you see the bard Marcus Madmore is closing the orb, and he goes, and that is the story of how Durandal met Balthazar and got one step closer to finding the way home. And with that, I will pick up next week and tell the next part of our story, when I will have to go backwards and tell about the story of Baka and what Esteel and Xiv did to try to save Baka. So please, thank you so much for all for coming. We'll pick up next week. Be sure to tip your waitress on the way out. Again, thank you so much. And with that, we will end episode 6 of the Masters of Dread. And next week when we pick up, we will have Ellie and Laz and Wes will be back, but Danny won't be here as he's going on vacation. So we're going to do a party split, and so we'll see what happened to them as he was spending his time underground. So with that, we thank you so much, and we'll see y'all next time.